Hi, I'm Mr. Matheny.
And I'm Miss Arn.
And this is Miss Arn. We are your consumer math teacher.
So today we want to talk to you about financial decisions that you might have to make in life, because there will be some. Probably just a few.
Couple of them.
And things that contribute to the decisions you make
Financial decisions?
would be, so let's say that there's a financial decision we need to make, like about buying a car. One thing we might look at is what our values are in that. We like nice cars. We like, we don't care. It could be a beater. We need a truck to transport our
wood.
Animals.
Or animals to and from places.
So that would affect our decision. Also, if it's a vehicle we need, because for our business, maybe we have a snow plowing business, so we need a truck to plow snow. My car's not going to cut it. And then ultimately, the other thing that's going to affect your financial decisions are your wants.
Do you want that really nice vehicle? Do you want that really souped up dually sitting in the back parking lot?
That's going to take a lot of fuel.
So you have to separate which one of these needs, wants, and where your values are at.
All right, so what specifically is a value? No, that's perfect.
What is a value?
A value is a fundamental belief or practice about what's desirable, worthwhile, and important to an individual. Ultimately, it's easy to see what people's values are because it's based on how they spend their money. So think for a second about how you spend your money. That might be the things that you value. So if you're stopping at Taco Bell every day on the way home from school, or Dunkin' every day on the way into school, maybe you value food.
And we'd appreciate you stopping in and bringing us something every once in a while.
Chai latte, that's what I like.
I don't even know what she said, but a donut's what I like.
Okay, I like those too. Okay.
What do you value?
And so in some of our activities for the week, we're going to talk about this.
And everyone has different values. There's my values actually we have a lot of the same values, but you guys have different values. So
these are examples of some of them. Honesty, family, helping others, education, financial security, a host of other things. And the thing with values is they don't have to be the same for everybody. They can be different.
What influences your values?
So these are possibilities. So your family, depending on how you grew up, maybe you have certain things that you value as a result of that.
Friends and peers, maybe you enjoy hanging out with your friends, or maybe you don't. Sometimes you, this would change. If you get stuck with some people, you're left with only one choice.
And think about too, I just had this thought about, I think a lot of times the people that we tend to hang out with have similar values. So think about some of your closest friends. Do you have the same values as your friends?
Teachers, do you have the same values they're teaching you? Do they impose their values on you? Or do you come up with your own values?
Culture, this is a big one. I think I've seen this even more through the coronavirus, is how our culture can affect, we're 6 feet apart, how the culture can affect your values and the things that are important.
Media, that has no effect on your values.
No,
so that's I don't even know how that one got in there. Maybe a little bit, because like what you see on TV, pop culture, all that stuff.
Music, podcasts, YouTube videos.
I guess it does have a little effect on you.
And then probably other things.
Other things would be included as that as well. Needs and wants. Needs are goods or services that are required for survival. Sometimes people misconstrue needs with wants. They want that really nice souped up truck, but they don't need it. But like Mrs. Arn said earlier, they need a vehicle to maybe plow the snow. They don't want that, they need that. So there's a little bit of wiggle room within these circles. Wants, the desire for goods and services that can increase our quality of life, but are not absolutely necessary. That's big. Not absolutely necessary for our survival. So there's a definite difference between needs and wants.
Maybe you need a vehicle to get around, but you don't need a brand new vehicle to get around.
There was a little overlap, so there is some stuff that actually can be in both. Maybe you wanted that really nice truck to plow snow, and you also needed it to make money. What are your needs and wants? What are your needs and wants?
And we will talk about this more in one of our Zoom meetings this way, but your needs and wants are dependent on your personal values. So the things that you value help determine some of your needs and wants as well. Keep going.
Why do needs and wants matter? Well, will help you decide what to spend and not spend your money on. Like, if you value something, you understand why you're spending more money on that. And if it's something that you need to spend money on it. If it's something that you just want, it could be something you could cut out and save money on in the future.
So the next thing is talking about trade-offs and opportunity costs. They help you decide between wants and needs. A trade-off is giving up one thing for another. So maybe one of the things that you're trying to decide if you're going to take some overtime for work. Well, a trade-off is you're making more money, you're taking that overtime, but in the process, you're going to end up giving up time with family. So the trade-off there would be time with family or friends.
The old give and take. Opportunity cost, the value of the next best alternative that must be forgone as a result of a decision. For instance, the opportunity cost would have been not spending as much time with her family if she worked overtime.
Is the trade-off to your decision a need or a want? What's the value of that trade-off to you? So this is something you're going to consider when you decide about the financial decisions that you're going to make.
Making financial decisions, you'll see that all of this is kind of entwined, your needs, your values, and your wants. They're not part of what you have to do for your financial decisions. They're more because you want to do them.
And they're all things that help you make good financial decisions as a result.
Analyzing trade-offs and opportunity costs will help you make your decision, so you can see if there's something, maybe you are wanting to spend time with family, instead of working that overtime, that can help with that decision of whether or not to clock in on the weekends or not.
And one of the assignments you'll have this week has to do with figuring out the trade-offs and the opportunity costs for somebody named Shelby.
Why is it important to understand what influences your decisions?
Well, ultimately because understanding what influences your financial decisions leads to making decisions that create high well-being. Remember, we talked about all of the different elements that go in, the domains that go into having a good well-being, and it includes your financial. So finally, in conclusion, needs and wants. We have the needs and wants cupcake, so go ahead and swipe. So the needs are the part of the, like, it's not gonna be a cupcake without the cake part of it. This has to be present and addressed before you consider any icing or decorations.
The icing and decorations represents the wants, the extra items that make our lives interesting and enjoyable. This is what makes, this is your really nice vehicles, this is the stuff, the fluff stuff that you enjoy in life.
You don't have to have it, but it does make it more enjoyable. And ultimately, when making spending decisions, think about your needs and wants. Make sure that your needs are met before you start spending money on the wants. What you determine to be a need versus what you versus what is a want will depend on what's important to you, your personal values. Just like your preference for different types of cupcakes.
Which we like any type of cupcakes.
Yep.
Bring them, we'll eat them.
We'll eat them. Thanks a lot.